Galactic Academy's most dangerous course, human childhood. They say every species has a crucible, a trial of survival that forges them into what they are. For most galactic civilizations, it was plague, predators, or planets that tried to kill them. But for humans, their crucible was childhood. At least that's what the data said. And as a field observer attached to the Galactic Intercultural Academy, I had seen my fair share of simulated environments. Acid oceans of Ziltora, the gravity mazes of Renthax 4, even the infamous fire gardens of Caldrell. But nothing had prepared me for this. Human Simulation Module 7B, codenamed Earth Kindergarten. A 24-hour exposure assignment. 5 alien cadets. 1 Earth childhood environment accurately rendered down to the millimeter, complete with active atmosphere, primitive gravity variants, and indigenous flora like peanut butter and chalk dust. This wasn't just a test. It was a classified nightmare. Began, as most Earth days do, with a bell. The sound alone triggered panic in 2 of the cadets. They had not expected the sheer volume, a shrieking metallic tone, meant to signal the start of something called recess, which was somehow different from playtime, despite both involving open chaos and kinetic trauma. Cadet Lore of the Adzarians, normally unshakable even in vacuum storms, clutched his auditory frills and shouted, "Are we under attack?" "No," I said, voice neutral, through my visor's speaker. "This is normal." The children began their outdoor segment now. The gates opened. And that's when they met. The playground. Day 1, 10:15 a.m. Contact. Simulated sunlight flooded the play enclosure, revealing a terrain so treacherous that the cadets took 5 full minutes to approach the perimeter. The ground was uneven, synthetic bark mulch scattered in chaotic ridges. The climbing structure loomed like a rusting war, relic jagged bars, faded slides, twisted netting. At the center, a rotating death disc known as the merry-go-round. "Are those restraints?" asked Cadet Rill of the Venturou, pointing to swing chains. "No," I corrected. "They're for fun." Rill looked at me as if I'd betrayed the entire mission. Then came the humans. Tiny, loud, covered in colorful outerwear, bearing symbols of extinct creatures, fictional mascots, and in one case, a shirt that simply said POW in glitter. She looked to be of average Earth juvenile dimensions, perhaps 1.2 meters tall, carrying a half-eaten fruit tube and a stick. She pointed at Cadet Brox, a 6-limbed arthropoid from Javen Kell. "You want to play tag?" she asked. No translation was needed. The gesture alone, casual challenge, predatory smile, was universally understood. Brox hesitated. Then he ran. The human chased. 2 others followed. Predator pack behavior, I noted in my log. 11:05 a.m. Incident. Grandma's cooking. Lunch was an ambush. The cadets were ushered to a miniature cafeteria staffed by soft-bodied humanoid simulations. Teachers and one singular force of entropy known only as Grandma. "Eat up, sweeties," she cooed, placing steaming trays on the table. Cadet Vexel of the Sphexian Broadminds took one look at the tray, something beige smothered in orange fluid, and attempted telepathic analysis. Result: psychic damage. Minor brain bleed. He collapsed with a gurgle. Cadet Lore sniffed the green cube labeled Jello and passed out cold. "This is a human nourishment ritual?" asked Rill, trembling. "Yes," I confirmed. "And they willingly consume this?" "Not only willingly," I said, "but competitively. Observe." 3 human juveniles nearby were engaged in a ritual called a food fight. High-velocity fruit fragments, globs of artificial cheese, and what I could only assume were weaponized napkins filled the air. Brox caught a pudding cup to the thorax and screeched. They didn't even notice. They were laughing. 12:40 p.m. Event. Soccer. The moment the ball hit the ground, everything changed. The humans roared. They ran. No instruction, no formal strategy. Just chaos arms, legs, collisions. The ball itself seemed irrelevant. This wasn't a game. It was a war. "Why are they kicking the orb?" Brox asked. "They aren't," I whispered. "They're establishing dominance." A whistle blew. Child fell, then rose. Bloody nose, one shoe missing, both knees scraped hand. She smiled. I want in, said Cadet Rill. No, I tried to warn him. That's not advisable. Too late. He ran. 5 minutes later, Rill had 3 bruised ribs, grass burns across all 4 arms, and was declared MVP by unanimous human vote. He cried for 20 minutes. Out of pride, he claimed. 14:10 p.m. Cultural exposure session. They were shown a video called Barney. Cadet Vexel begged for sweet death. Brox attempted self-destruct. Only Lore remained upright, muttering ancient war hymns under his breath as animated dinosaurs danced and sang about friendship. I can feel my soul dissolving, he whispered. I know, I said. I see colors that don't exist. Yes. Why do the humans show this to their young? It's to build resilience, I said. Lore nodded solemnly. I will never mock them again. 16 o'clock p.m. Extraction. The bell rang again. The cadets were collected limping, burned, emotionally destabilized, and changed. They had survived one day. Back aboard the Academy cruiser, Commandant J. Krell awaited the report. Well, he demanded, how dangerous is it? I handed him the footage, the data, the medical scans, and a crayon drawing that Brox had been given by the fruit tube girl. It depicted all of them, smiling. He had pinned it to his carapace like a medal. It's worse than we imagined, I said, but also beautiful. Beautiful, the Commandant barked. I nodded slowly. They train in chaos. They dine in poison. They bond through pain. They dream in cartoons and scream in laughter. Their reality makes no sense, and yet they thrive. Jake Rell squinted. Would you recommend integration? I paused, then smiled. Only if we wish to evolve. And that was the report from Earth Module 7B. Classified for now, but one day, maybe we'll stop fearing the Death Worlders, start learning from them. Maybe. But until then, remember, the most dangerous force in the galaxy. One sate glue. I liked it.